Alright, are you ready for round 3? Well, I'm not really either, but that's okay. Alright, so our next request, or I'm sorry, we haven't finished this one up, so let's finish that up. Alright, so I got thinking about it, and when you create a Windows selectable window, each time you do, it always starts and sets the active equals to true. It's active by default. So I'm guessing that's what our problem is. So I think all we need to do is we just need to say self.active equals false. And I think we'll be set. Hopefully we'll be set. Because that was getting a little strange there. We can choose attack. Not updating. So we are almost there. Let's see. So at least it's not jumping through those windows prematurely and so on. So that's always good. But it's not updating our window for us either, even though here it's got the update method for it. Let's just make sure we're getting here. So I'm just going to put in a little bit of debugging here. I'm just going to say making it to here. And then we're just going to leave that. And we're just going to run that and make sure that we are at least getting to that part of our code. We're going to say fight, say yes, and we should be getting this over and over and over. Okay, so it did, but it was not updating our window. Oh, I know why. It's because we didn't reset our index. I think I said that last time before we finished. So we're going to set that, and we're going to say .index equals to 0, and so we should be good there. Let's see. Now, didn't we actually create it as part of our viewport? I was expecting it to be down lower and in that viewport with the other stuff. But let's just try this and make sure it's at least working for us. That's always a hopeful improvement. Alrighty. Seems a little buggy in the updating the window here. It doesn't always seem to grab the input that I'm pressing. And there it goes. So it is working, but not quite right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this little piece right here and we're going to throw that back here, right there. Now it should update pretty darn quickly every single time. Let's just check that and make sure, and then what we'll do is we'll work on the positioning of it next. Okay, so we're going to say attack. And it still seems to be a little bit slowish. Not sure why. Throw it right there. Just because we'll keep on moving it up until it seems right. I'm not really sure why it keeps on throwing it back there. We'll throw it right up at the beginning and see if that makes any better. Probably not, but now it seems even worse. Having a hard time with that. I'm not sure why. Let's go look here. You know, technically the window has already been created, so we can make that be part of the original update viewport. But see, the thing is that having it here is essentially the same as putting it inside of that method at the end through an alias. So even then, I'm still not quite sure. If those things and that, otherwise do the update equip attack. Update basic is here. Oh, you know what it is? We need a true on that, just like it had in the old one. It's causing it to re-update the graphics and re-update the input at that point if you don't have the true on it, because that's what the update basic does. So that's my bet. We'll just take another look at it here. Much better. So now you can come in here, you can select which weapon you want to use and attack with that. Just have everyone else guard here and make sure that it uses the right weapon. Okay, that looked like the right weapon, so now we're going to switch it during the next attack. And now we don't have control. What in the world? It seems to know it's there, but it's not giving us control. Because down here we've got it setting the active, got it setting the index, and then up here it's doing the update. It's updating, but it is not running that next portion of the code. Or better yet, it's updating, but it's not updating it as though it's active. Because it only does that stuff if it is active. Update. Alright, so if cursor movable, what determines cursor movable? If not visible or not active, or index is less than those, and not opening or closing. And item max not equal to 0. Index is less than item max, and item max is greater than 0. So all of that criteria seems good, since we're setting active. The refresh is setting the visible. I guess we can run it here just in case. I mean, it works the first time around, so it should be good, but... And we reset the index back to 0 each time. Looks like we've got all the data there. We set those back to false, it allowed it to continue, everything went through just fine. So, let's just try it again. You'll have to forgive me, I'm surprised this one's giving me this much trouble. I didn't suspect this. Alright, so we're going to say attack with the long spear this time. And then we're going to have everyone else guard. Alright. Okay, we're going to say fight, attack. Oh, is that what it is? Okay, so... I am not sure, but I think, because it's not allowing me to go down to the long spear, I'm guessing it's consuming the weapon, or something along those lines. Alright, so at least we're getting the right attacks. Now, the question is that next time will I have the option to attach with the club and the spear? What? Oh, because he already had a long sword, so he can... Okay. That is being awfully weird, I have to say. Alright, so what we need to do is we actually need to unequip whatever it is he has each time Otherwise, we're not going to be able to use it appropriately the next round. So we don't even care how many items or how many of that we've got. We're just going to take and we're going to unequip the weapon every time after he attacks. Or better yet, when the window is called. So what we're going to do is we're going to say unequip and probably unequip index. Let's see, let's look at actor again, and we're going to unequip his weapon here. Weapon ID equals 0. Discard equipment always gets rid of it. Okay. Why is it always going to just get rid of that? Let's see, equipable. What we need to do is we need to equip it back with 0 and then give it back, I would guess. Alright. If weapon, weapon ID, 2 hands legal, change equip 1. Let's see, that's one of those items that requires 2 hands. And down here is basically the same thing. But what do we need here? Why is it not? Let's see, let's look at game party. Look at item number. What we ought to do is just say has item, and then we say include equip equals true. Although that's kind of dangerous though, because then technically you could duplicate weapons because you're saying to include that equipment of other actors, so that's kind of dangerous. I think you should only be able to see what is currently not equipped, but then you'd never be able to attack with the same weapon twice unless you've got more than one of that weapon, unless we unequip it each time. Let's see, how can we get rid of this? Let's go back and look at change equip again, because it has to give you the item back. I'm not sure. It should be given it back. I didn't see that it was. Let's see. Alright, so here we say gain item, lose item. Okay, so it is actually, although that's just a test, that's only in that condition. Let's see, last item equals the current type unless test. So, okay, I'm sorry. It only does that if you're not testing. So, that's what we need to do is it automatically gives it back to you, so we just need to run this. Lose item, we just need to run this in order to get you clear the equip. So we're going to equip nothing, so we're going to equip 0 with, and then 0. Item ID equals 0. As long as the item ID equals 0, it should be no weapon. So we're just going to say equip 0, 0. Alrighty. We'll come back down here, and we'll say active battler dot equip or change equip 0, 0. Let's give her a try. Here I was actually thinking I might get to another one. I don't think we're going to make it tonight, so sorry. Alright, so here we've got the club. That's funny. Didn't I talk to that guy first? giving the weapons? He is. Goodness. Well, you'll have to forgive me. Maybe it's just late here. I mean, it is almost midnight, but active battler, change equip 00 should be just dropping whatever equipment he has into the inventory. He should be then receiving the other thing. We can then refresh the window, get the contents. It sets it active and then allows you to display it. But it's not working right. It's this. Something here in the refresh doesn't seem to be working right. Let's see. Refresh, actor index. We fetch the index. We get the class. We run the class weapon set, and then we go through each one of those and we say, do you have it? And if you do, then we push it into the data. And I don't see anything wrong with my logic on this, so it's kind of surprising that it's just not working. Oh, you know what? This is something that's kind of stupid, but we need to reset the self.contents.clear, or better yet, create contents, just so it follows the previous method here. But we need to make sure that we do that anytime here, otherwise it doesn't refresh the bitmap. That's probably why we were having problems earlier. Let's see, but it should only be adding that if the item number is greater than 0. And item number is direct item number. So we should be good. I'm befuzzled. It's kind of interesting to see me sitting here going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do here? Alright, so it seems to be only fetching the one item, even though we gave him a sword and a long spear. So let's find out in here. And then we're going to ask it weapon, and so it will print us each weapon that it adds into that list. See if maybe it's just not adding them into there. Okay, so we say attack. Alright, so we have our club, and that is it. So why is it not getting all of the others? Weapon set. Let's just say weapon. It seems to think that the item number isn't greater than 0, but it did earlier. And the only difference is that I forced you to equip nothing right here. So let's just remove that back there. We'll comment out that as well, and we'll see if we go back to having all of our items listed just based on that tiny little piece. And now we have all our weapons again. See, I'm expecting it here to actually be dropping all the other items back into the inventory, and it just doesn't look like that's happening. It is to an extent, but it's just not dropping them all. So each of the other members that were choosing attack were dropping their equipment back in there. Let's go look at all of our initial equipment here. Longsword, club, club. So by the end of it, we should have a spare 2 long swords and 2 clubs. Sorry about this, guys. I was really expecting this one to be a pretty easy thing, but it's being difficult. And I am not sure why this single line, change equip 00, causes all of our other items not to show up. It seems to be clearing out all of our other equipment. So I'm not sure, but we're going to try to look into it a little bit more here. Equipment type, so it fetches the last item, and we're not testing. And in that case, we say return if item, and that's the new item, is equal to 0, if item is not equal to nil. And then here we go through and gain and lose the old item. So if we've got the weapon, we should lose the weapon. And it does that if it's not equal to nil. If item is equal to nil, then set it to this. So actually it looks like we should be passing nil right here. Let's try that and see if that gives us any different results down here. Okay, so talk to him, opens our battle. Hey, look at that. So we're going to attack with the long spear, attack with a long sword, club, and club. So we should still have 2 clubs in the inventory, 1 sword, and so on. But when we come back, it should have all of our equipment back. But of course, now we got more battle. See, now I'm not bothering to get item numbers or anything along those lines, but it looks like we should be working, finally. And all it took was just changing one stupid variable, making sure we read it right. Okay, well, I think that's going to cover it for tonight then. So, hopefully that was informative. Definitely shows you a little bit about how to troubleshoot an item, and just digging through the code here. So sorry it took so long, but well, that's the way of programming. So anyways, hope you guys have learned something, and till next time, we'll see ya.